Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wedding Wednesday. I wanted to start off with an apology because we hadn't been around for a couple of weeks. We did manage to take a little bit of time and go and do some site visits, so we were traveling. Any of you that have traveled to any of the destinations we work in, sometimes you know that reliability of Wi-Fi internet options are not always the best that you can find. So we do apologize for that. We are back now though, and we hope that you will be able to join us. So we have an interesting topic this morning. I talk to a lot of people as I travel around and I do my work. And speaking with clients and stuff, and one of the first things that most people say to me is, oh, you're a wedding planner. That's got to be a fun job. And it is. Don't get me wrong, I love my job. An inherent amount of stress that comes with being somebody's personal worry wart, but I do love what I do. But the next thing that usually comes up in that conversation is, do people really need a wedding planner anymore with the age of the internet and the availability we have to access information? Is it something that people still need? So it's kind of a two-part answer, right? So it really just depends on who you are, what you're looking for, where your comfort zone is in letting somebody else take control of something for you, and where you're planning. So there's a few things to consider. So who needs to have a wedding planner? I mean, I work as a wedding planner, so I believe everybody can benefit from a wedding planner in some capacity, whether it be the full-blown planning, or maybe just day of coordination, or even just some support with vendors and options in your area, because we do supply all of those services as well. But I personally feel like everyone would benefit, but it comes down to who you are. So let's talk about some of the points that are, I think, kind of paramount in deciding whether or not it's something that you are going to need or want. So, key point first and foremost, where are you planning your wedding? If you're planning your wedding in your backyard, nobody knows your backyard better than you do. You have access to all of the people that you probably daily work with in some capacity or know of in your travels back and forth to work or to shopping. You will see florists, you will see decorators, event rental options. You go to events in your community and you hear the DJs or you hear the bands firsthand. So you have all of that firsthand information. So in that instance, do you need a wedding planner? You don't need a wedding planner. You would probably find value in a wedding planner because they can save you a lot of money often, with their connections and their relationships with vendors and venues and whatnot. And as well, they can take some of the stress out of planning, because I follow so many boards on social media and groups. And the one thing that I see on a consistent daily, multiple times a day basis is people planning weddings and saying how stressed out they are. So, in that case, would you benefit from a planner? Yes. Do you need to have a planner? Probably not, but you would benefit from one. If you were planning a wedding in a different country than what you are currently living in, and you have no connections to that country, as far as having family or friends living there, or people personally that are living in that area, then I would 1000% say you need a wedding planner, because of so many variables that you are going to face that are just going to make you, to be honest with you, it's just going to make you miserable trying to jump through all of the hoops. So what are the hoops? Language barrier. First and foremost, if you're getting married in a country, especially that you do not speak the language, aka any of the Spanish speaking countries, if you're an English speaking person, or vice versa, if you're coming to Canadian Rocky Mountains, and you are only a Spanish speaking person, you're probably going to find it a little bit tricky to negotiate, and to deal and to be understood and to understand what's being said to you. So that's really important. There's a lot of cultural differences as well that come with being married in another country. Cultural differences, as in they may not know some of the traditions that you're talking about. Even I, after years of doing this, have been stumped. We had one about a year ago, and they did a sock dance that was a tradition, a family tradition. It was, comes from the French Canadian side of the world, and I had never heard of this. And the concept is if a sibling who is younger than the oldest sibling gets married before that older sibling, the older sibling must dance in socks. And it's kind of a fun tradition. People pay and the money goes to the bride and groom. But I had never heard of this tradition. So even your wedding planner may not. If you're dealing with somebody in another culture, they may have no idea what you're talking about. If you have a particular tradition, sand ceremony, any of those types of things, about how to go about helping you to achieve having that as a part of your wedding. So that can be really tricky for you. Cultural differences, as well as in understanding what to expect. What can you get in that country? Can you get everything that you are looking for? Hi, Althea. Can you get everything that you're looking for? What are the actual true costs of things in that country? So, you're going to go on any site and look for stuff, and it's going to give you a price point, or you're going to reach out and you're going to get a price from them regarding whatever it is that you're wanting to purchase or you're wanting to secure as a service. Is that a good value, or are you being taken advantage of? So, you want to make sure that you have that information as well, and that's something that a local planner will be able to help you with as well. The pace of response. So in Canada, I find response to be quite quick when I'm contacting venues and vendors for our clients. Usually within 48 hours max. Even in high season when people are extremely busy, it seems like it's turnaround. Some of the other territories that we're working in, response times are much slower. Again, it's a cultural thing. It's also, I suppose, maybe a learned thing. I'm not really sure, but at the end of the day, if you feel like you're being ignored, you probably aren't. It's just they haven't got to you yet, because things just are different in other countries. So you have to kind of get your head around that. That one can be one of the hardest ones to get your head around, to be honest with you. So you'll feel like you're not getting the service that you are paying for or you're demanding, but really you probably are. Just letting you know. Althea, thank you so much. I miss you, lady. Tell Tina I'm counting the days for her. Okay, back to this. So who else needs a wedding planner? If you don't have a lot of time, you absolutely need a wedding planner. If you are busy at a corporate job that takes up 8 to 10 hours of your day, which most people in the world tend to unfortunately work in, that's a thing. You also then, after that long, multiple hours, many days a week job, you have your family, you have your friends, you have your housework, you have your house upkeep as far as groceries, vehicle maintenance, and then trying to socialize. So do you have time to plan your wedding? That's really, I guess, a big question that you should be asking yourself. Do you have time to do the job well? And if you don't have time, again, it's going to create stress for you, and it's going to as well create just havoc, and very, very likely you're going to end up with an inferior product. At the end of the day, your event will not be the spectacular event you want it to be, because you're going to have missed out on components. So really important. Again, if you don't have people in locally, who do you hire as a band, as a DJ, as your cake decorator, as your decorator period? Who do you rent chairs, tables, linens, all of those supplies from? Who do you get the alcohol from? Do you hire bartenders and staff, that kind of stuff? If you're doing something in a private venue, for sure, you're going to want to make sure that you have a planner that is able to help you to source reliable and cost-effective, very important, options for your wedding. This is so important, right? Because you don't want to be on Pinterest and you don't want to be on Insta and looking through everybody and just deciding on who's going to supply your wedding. As a matter of fact, we actually had a bride who did this, and she hired the majority of her vendors off of Instagram. It took 4 months to get her photos and video from the photographer, videographers that she hired, and I ended up, even though I didn't hire them, I stepped in and threatened legal in order to get them. You know, they had supposedly a reputation online. It didn't come through. The vendors that we work with, we know that they're going to be there. They're going to show up on time. They're going to do their job well. They're going to be, again, cost effective for your particular budget, and they're reliable. It's somebody, I can't have my own, world being turned upside down because vendors that don't show. So we have that relationship, and that's something important for you. Knowledge of the area. So what is available to you in the area that you're wanting to get married in? So say you've selected Canmore in the Canadian Rocky Mountains, almost the most amazingly beautiful place on the planet, I must say. I'm so fortunate to get to work there and to live close to this area. But what is available there for you if you're not looking for the brand name option, right? So, and actually, to be honest with you, in a lot of the Canadian Rocky Mountains, they don't have a lot of the big chain names. So a lot of the hotels or venues that you're going to come across, you don't have any relationship with them, and you don't have any knowledge other than, again, trusting the internet to say whether this is a good option for you or not. It's just really important that you understand what you're buying and where you're buying into and what value that brings for you. So there are so many things to consider with regards to knowing what's right for you, and this is why we do a 30-minute free no obligation consultation. So it's to find out what you want. If you come to me and you say, I'm looking for that super laid back beach vibe, I want a beach wedding, and my family and friends are coming to stay, but we don't like to get out of our chair, we want the entire time to be beach ready and not leave our immediate area, whether it's a private villa rental or a resort, and we just really want a relaxing time of it, I can suggest some areas for you that I think will be the best options for you. If you're the people, though, that want to go out and do the kite surfing and do the 27 waterfalls or do the tram up the Jasper in Jasper in the mountains, and hiking and all of those other options, there's better options for you in some respects than others, and we can talk to you about that, and we know the areas that we work in. That's why we are local. We can suggest options that are going to work for you and for your wedding party and for your guest list, so that everybody has a great time, because often the weddings are now also a holiday, so we want to make sure that everybody's having a good time. That's something that your wedding planner can help you with for sure. Another great reason to hire a wedding planner, if you want somebody to handle all the stress and strain and headaches and drama that goes on with vendors and negotiations and logistics and all of those other things, if you just want to put that aside and not worry about it, hire a wedding planner. I tell people all the time that we are your paid for rewards. We love what we do and we're good at what we do, but there's still a certain amount of stress that comes into planning any event. And I would rather we took that on than put that on you and have you going crazy in another country trying to figure out how to move forward. And the last point I was going to mention, honestly, was just the saving money. I kind of touched on it at the top. Vendors and venues and wedding planners, we create a working relationship, and that always benefits our clients. So if you were to contact one of my vendors as an unknown person planning a one-time event with them, would you get the same deals and the same price points that I get when I bring them multiple deals and I have a relationship where they know they can trust me and that we work well together and those types of things? So it's really something that if you want to save money, I know it costs to hire a wedding planner, and so people think, well, I can't really afford to hire a wedding planner. Truly, honestly, if you work the math, you can't afford to not hire a wedding planner, because the savings on the back end and all of that stress relief and having somebody that understands what to do and somebody that's working in the background while you're living your life, you can't put a price point on that. So I hope that helps a little bit to understand who needs to hire a wedding planner. Can you do it on your own? Absolutely. Do I recommend it? Absolutely not. And that's just years of experience talking. Okay, so hopefully that helped a little bit. Couple of things to touch base on. For those of you that follow my mug, my old mug broke. So no longer do we have the smiling happy face, but we do have a kindness counts mug. Kindness does count. I hope you all have a very kind day and are very kind to one another. And last but not least, don't forget to get in on our draw. We're having our draw in the last Wednesday in March for $500 cash. You do not have to buy anything. If you have a free 30-minute consultation with us to discuss your wedding, because I love to talk weddings all day long, every day, your name will be entered to win the I said 5,000 again. I'm sorry, it's $500 cash. We'll be drawing every quarter, so at the end of March and then going forward at the end of June. So get your name in for that chance to win that free money. The only other stipulation is you must join us on Wedding Wednesdays to hear your name called. If you're not here, unfortunately, you will not be able to claim your prize, but get in on it. It's $500 US in your pocket. You do not have to work with us. Just tell us about your wedding. We want to hear about it. Have a great day, everyone. I hope you have an amazing Valentine's. Happy Valentine's to all of you. And we look forward to hearing about your Valentine's engagements. So take care and talk soon.